In the far north, beyond the frostbitten cliffs and the dead rivers that remember no name, lies Skarnheim, a land forgotten by the gods, where wind speaks in howls and the snow bleeds with stories long buried. They say Skarnheim was once green, that its skies were blue before the sky wolves came, before the dragon king Drok descended from the clouds, and his fire froze the land in eternal mourning. But this story, this howl, begins not with gods or monsters. It begins with a man who has lost everything, his home, his blood, his name. He is Halv, and tonight he walks into the storm, not to survive, but to remember. To remember is to feel pain, and in pain, Halv finds purpose. For there are whispers that Drok has returned, and Halv has made a vow to end the storm or die with it. There is a silence in the ice, a silence so deep it drowns even memory. Beneath Skarnheim's frozen breath, where men once feasted and fires once danced, now lie ruins swallowed by frost. This was once Halv's village, before the fire that burned colder than winter itself. Each step he takes crunches into forgotten ash. Homes reduced to white bones of wood, a cradle blackened, a shield shattered, a child's doll, frozen with a tear that never thawed. These were not the works of man. These were the fangs of Drok, the sky-born warlord, the beast who burns with ice. He was not there when the dragon came. He had marched to war like every son of Skarnheim. When he returned, there was nothing left but snow and bones. But tonight, as the sky bleeds aurora, Halv feels the old pull. The markings beneath the village, the ones his ancestors carved in stone, are glowing, faint, beckoning. The Hall of Echoes has opened. The spirits are ready. The ancestors stir. From the other side of the veil, they whisper of vengeance and of a weapon. One last howl to break the silence. But for Halv to claim it, he must face the trial of frost and fire. A test that no soul has passed, not even the warlords of old. Two souls, one scarred by loss, the other by rage. One walks the land of men, the other the throne of frost. Their paths were split by flame, but they are bound by fate. And in the days to come, one shall fall, not by sword, not by fire, but by the weight of his own past. Beneath the frozen ruin, far beyond where mortal steps dare tread, lies the trial chamber, carved by hands long turned to dust. It is not a place of worship, but of judgment. For only the one who carries both flame and fang may awaken the wolf flame, the last weapon of the howling kings. Halv does not remember when his heart last beat with hope. But as he steps into the circle of runes, the air crackles, not with fire, but with memory. But this is no simple test. The wolf flame does not answer to blood, it answers to sacrifice. Three spirits now stand before Halv. The first, a child, small and quiet. The second, a warrior, broad-shouldered, bearing Halv's own face. The third is a wolf, its fur made of shadow, its eyes of starlight. They do not speak. They remember. To wield the wolf flame, Halv must conquer three things: the guilt of those he could not save, the rage that threatens to consume him, and the beast within that howls for vengeance. He cannot win with strength, not here, only with surrender. Halv is no longer hollow. He is no longer lost. The wolf has answered, and the hunt begins. But across the mountains a storm is rising, for Drok, the draconic warlord, has felt the awakening, and his response is war. Skarnheim has no gods, but it has monsters, and among them one sleeps still, beneath the bones of a mountain, breathing once every 100 years. They call it the Maw. To awaken the Stormfang, the blade that can pierce Drok's heart, Halv must go where none return. Not for glory, not for vengeance, but because fate has already named him. The Last Howl. This is where warriors go to be forgotten, where old kings buried things they could not kill. At the bottom lies the Stormfang, inside the ribcage of something no one dared to name. But nothing in Skarnheim is ever truly dead. As Halv reached for Stormfang, the bones shivered, the air thickened, and eyes like frozen suns blinked open. The beast lived, its body dead, its spirit buried in rage. To claim Stormfang, Halv had to give it a reason to sleep again, in blood. Stormfang is no ordinary blade. It hums with the names of those who fell to it. But Halv is not just a wielder, he is now a keeper. And the beast, in death, grants him its howl. With the Stormfang awakened, and the more silenced, the world stirs. Droch knows Halv is coming, but there is one final path to walk before blood meets fire. The Forest of the Dead, where the soul of Skarnheim sleeps and decides. Stormfang hummed in Halv's hand like a living beast. It whispered old names and battle cries, as if the sword had been waiting for him through the silence of centuries. But power is no gift in Skarnheim. It is earned again and again with blood. The forest of Drelnar was once a temple to the wolf gods, but now it's a graveyard of warriors who lost their minds before their lives. Halv knew the legends. He knew Drogg's scouts prowled these woods, silent as ice, savage as hunger. But he had no choice. Beyond Drelnar lay the Heartspire, and with it, the truth of the Dragon King's return. He did not walk out of Drelnar, he crawled, but every gash carved deeper into his vow. He was not the same man who wandered into the storm. Halv was being reforged, not in fire, but in frost, pain, and silence. And from that silence, a whisper came. Not from the wind, not from the sword, but from within. A memory he had forgotten. A name. In the belly of the woods, where breath froze and silence cracked like bone, Halv lay still. But within him, something stirred. A name lost to time, smoldering like an ember beneath ash. Not a name given, but one earned. His mind shattered into visions, not of past battles, but of future ruin. A throne of bone rising from Skarnheim's sea, cities burned under a black sun, and at its heart, the Dragon King, reborn in fire, fed by a name Halv had forgotten, his own bloodline's shame. While Halv bled and clawed through frost and fangs, the sky above the southern cliffs of Avara turned black. Not from storm or season, but from wings. The Dragon King had returned, not as flesh reborn, but as wrath remembered. Dror, once the Fire Lord of Skarnheim, now walked again, bone and flame cloaked in shadow, seeking the oaths that broke him. This mortal, now twisted by the fire that devoured his kin. They say he carved his heart out and buried it beneath the volcano of Verhal, binding himself to the flame. He did not burn Avara for conquest. He burned it for memory. Every city that had forgotten him, every bloodline that turned from the dragon, he would remind them with ash. Part 2 awaits. Subscribe to my channel, like and comment on the video, and tell us what you think if Halv can defeat the Dragon King. Don't miss Part 2 for more twists in this saga.